Good morning and welcome to the Knit Shift episode 87. My name is Laura. This is Gracie, and I guess she's my co-host. She's in practically every episode. This is the Knit Shift. It is Sunday, April 2nd, 2017. I can promise you there will be zero April Fool's jokes on this podcast. Besides, I'm a day late anyway. This is episode 87. It just occurred to me that I'm getting close to 100, and I would be remiss if I didn't point out that I think it was last week or the week before, it was my 2-year podcast birthday. So happy birthday to the Knit Shift. You don't look a day over 1. So I can't believe I've been doing this 2 years. It's pretty bonkers to think that I've been doing this for 2 years now. And what had started as a lark, not a lark, I really did think through it quite a bit. What had started as an outlet outside of my job when things were a little bit scary at my job has become such a wonderful part of my life and enriching, and I've met people through this, I've made friends through this, so just thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Again, my name is Laura. This is Gracie. I am a journalist. I live in Virginia near the beach. I have a lot of yarn. I have a boyfriend. And I try to use all my yarn, but I'm always thwarted by my job. I work the evening shift as an editor at a news organization, print and online, not TV. And yeah, so that's me. That's my job. This is my dog. These are her bat ears. Oh yeah, hi. She really wants to snuggle, She's 11. She's older. And she just loves to be next to me all the time if I'm around. So that's where she is, right on my lap. Oh, good girl. You're such a good girl. We'll see if I can make this work with her next to me. So you can find me on the web as Yarnstormer on Ravelry. I'm on Instagram as Laura Mahalski. Show notes can be found at theknitshift.com. This episode is available on iTunes and YouTube. You can search for The Knit Shift in either place and you will find me. Please do subscribe if you haven't. I'd love it if you subscribed in both locations, but one or the other will do just fine. That way you won't miss an episode. I think that's it for all the doodads. We do have a Knit Shift group on Ravelry. If you go to the groups tab on Ravelry and search for the Knit Shift, you will find us. We do have a knit along going on right now. As usual, I meant to grab the prizes but forgot, and with the dog on my lap, I'm not gonna go retrieve them. I have 3 works in progress to share with you this week. One of them is very new and I'm very excited about it. It's really new, but I got a lot of work done on it and I can't wait to share it with you because it's unlike anything I've done before. So let us get into the meat of the podcast, shall we? Oh, and I feel like women shouldn't apologize for how they look, but I just got out of the shower. I did not even put on any makeup. I at least put gel on my hair because if I didn't put gel in my hair, I would have crazy pants hair. It was a really long night at work the past 2 nights, which I will talk about later, but I am really pooped, y'all, and I just thought you're going to get fresh-faced Laura today. So it's not an apology, just an explanation. Huh, Grace? Oh, you're such a good girl. Oh my goodness, what a hard life you have. Sleeping and eating all the things. Okay. Well, I'll save the really exciting whip for last. I will show you a pair of socks first. I am carrying this pair of socks in a pineapple bag made by my mom, Dorothy. And these are socks for my brother, Josh. I had hoped to have them done for his birthday, which is 6 days away, next Saturday, but it ain't gonna happen. But I was able to turn the heel on the first sock in the past week. That was my goal, really. So I had wanted to turn the heel on this sock and another pair, but I didn't really have time to knit on the other pair, unfortunately. So here is the sock. This is Must Stash Yarns in the tag is somewhere around here. It's a Droids colorway. It's meant to look like R2-D2. It's a merino nylon blend. I used not Knit Picks, Loopy U for the toe and the heel so far. So I was at the orange stitch marker last week and I knit a couple inches on the foot, I turned the heel and I'm about 1.5 inches, maybe 1 inch into the leg. So yeah, and just for the record, this green, so this is my progress keeper. This is so I know exactly where I began knitting the leg so that I can count the rows properly. Because I'm knitting these one at a time, I like to take good notes to make sure I knit them, within a row or two of each other. That's the goal when I knit the second sock. I'm knitting these on my Hiya Hiya Sharps size 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter. These are very sharp. They are wonderful. I love the cable. It's very light and flexible. I also like the color, not that the color matters, but I like the pale blue. Oh, I'm sorry. Is my podcasting getting in the way of your snuggling on my lap? Oh, I'm so sorry. So yeah, I'm really loving the sock. I'm going to go ahead and move the stitch marker up now while I'm thinking about it. This yarn is fantastic. I believe it's about 15 or 16 uneven stripes. And the second ball of yarn, it comes in 2 skeins that are kind of looped together, and they are a perfect match. I think she calls them her perfectly striped or perfectly paired, something like that. So here's the cake I'm knitting from, and here is the cake that I have yet to cast on. So really, really like this yarn. My brother tried these on when I visited him 3 weeks ago when my niece was born, and he said, wow, these are the softest socks I think you've ever knit me. So it fit really well, and I'm excited to have more progress when I see him in about 5 weeks. So yeah, that is my first work in progress this week. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so hard to get cozy. Oh, it's so hard to get cozy on a podcaster's lap. I know, Bubba. I know. Everyone's going to hear my crazy dog lady voice that I use with you. The cat is out of the bag. Yes. Okay. Next up, I'm going to show you the shawl I'm knitting for our knit along in the Knit Shift group on Ravelry. I'm carrying it in a Nico Zuki Knits project bag. It has room for 3 skeins of sock yarn, but now that the shawl is pretty big, I had to boot the blue yarn. I've showed this every week for a few weeks now. This is my Hello Hello shawl by Kirsten Kapoor. It is a 2-color shawl, and it calls for more than 2. It calls for 2 colors, but each skein you need about 500 to 550 yards of. So just a normal skein of sock yarn won't really cut it. So here is my shawl. It is asymmetrical, as you can see. And basically you start up in this corner and you knit these eyelets and stockinette, and then you start striping the second color in. And then you knit garter for the 3rd section. It is a paid for pattern. I believe it was $5 or $6. The yarns I am using are Yarn Carnival, which is a dyer based in Texas, an indie dyer. And this is the Fire Dancer base, which is 100% merino, and it was an 815 yard skein. And it's this gorgeous navy, almost purpley black color called London 1665. The green is a Hedgehog Fiber sock yarn. This is a potluck colorway, which means it's a one of a kind. I have 2 skeins of this, so I have about 800 yards of this as well. And it's this lovely mint green with flecks of brown and purple and a little bit of teal now that I look at this more closely. So I really love how these colors play together. I love navy. I like wearing navy. I feel like navy, for me, I like to consider it a neutral. And then I just love this pop of green with it. So I think it's really springy. I would love to finish this in time. It looks like I'm wearing a funny tube top right now. I would love to finish this to wear it before it gets too warm out, but realistically, I just don't think that's going to happen. I am right about here in the first cake of the green yarn. And frankly, if I am able to triple this, I might just finish the shawl and not even break into the second skein of yarn. I might just save this for another project because it is a potluck. It is a one of a kind. I can't find it anywhere else, and I just think it's so pretty. I haven't really decided. I'm non-committal. I am knitting these on my Knit Picks Interchangeables, and they are a size 5 which is a 3.75 millimeter. So this got just a little bit of love. I'll show you my progress from last week. I chose a stitch marker that is kind of blending in. So I've knit everything beneath the stitch marker. So just an inch or two, but the rows are quite wide, and frankly, when I needed something mindless this week, this is generally what I turned to. And last but not least, I have a project that I am carrying in a bag from Knitty City in New York City. It's just a shopping bag that they give away there. It's got their logo right here, which is pretty fun. It's on the Upper West Side if you ever go to New York City, and it is a great shop. I mentioned last week that I had bought some Cascade 220 to cast on a Christmas stocking for my niece. So I chose a pattern. It's the Annie's Woolens Evergreen Christmas Stocking. She has a ton of Christmas stocking patterns available on Ravelry. If you are interested in multiple designs, she does sell a booklet of patterns for about $16. I paid $7 just for this pattern because I don't really plan on knitting a ton of stockings, and if I do knit more, maybe I will just knit the same one. So most of her designs are very similar to this, but instead of the trees, she will have, you know, a snowman or Santa, that kind of stuff. So, and you can see there's two variations, one with the holly and the heart here, one with a spot for a name here, and I knit my niece's name into the stocking. I knit all of this last weekend. Basically, I filmed the podcast on Sunday, and I knit this all Sunday and Monday. So here it is. There are a bajillion ends, so sorry for the yarn barf sticking out of the top. So there's her name. It's Olivia. I'm really pleased with this because this is the first legit color work. I mean, I've started to knit a color work hat before, but I haven't gotten beyond this far. And frankly, I'm probably going to frog it in light of another pattern I would rather knit colorwork wise. But worsted weight colorwork is a great way to get started in the colorwork knitting world. And frankly, a Christmas stocking is nice because you knit one and you're done. There's no pairs to make, unless like you're making stockings for twins or two kids or whatever. But in general, you're knitting one Christmas stocking at a time. I am almost done with the trees. And I decided as a surprise that I would put 2017, which of course is the year she was born, on the back, just because I feel like, you know, generally when you have a Christmas stocking, you keep it your whole life. You know, you don't just decide to buy a new one, you know, unless you get all matching ones for your family or something. But I still have the stocking and use the stocking that my grandma Jenna had made for me. My brother still has the stocking from when he was a baby. So I feel like this will be something that she can keep and use forever. That's my hope, at least. And then when she's looking back on it long after I'm dead and gone and, you know, she's got a family of her own, it'll be like 2017, that was forever ago, that kind of thing. So I just think that's kind of special. So yeah, I really like this. I'm using 3 shades of Cascade 220 in Shire, which is this lovely green heather. It's kind of getting a little blown out. That's a little better. And Ruby, which is the perfect Christmas red, and just a lovely shade of white. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna pick this up again today. I might wait until tomorrow when I've had a little bit more time to recuperate from my crazy time at work this week. So, and I know my stitches are a bit uneven, like especially in this A, but I'm hoping that when I weave in the ends and block it, that it evens up a bit, you know, and I think washing it and soaking it will be the best medicine to fix the letters, but in general, I'm quite happy with this. And I'm knitting this on size, let's see, these are Knit Picks Interchangeables. These are either 8s or 9s. So yeah, that is the other thing. I really did spend probably only 3 or 4 hours to get this far on the stocking. You know, it's really pretty straightforward. If you are someone who has knit a sweater before, or if you've knit even socks, I feel like you could master color work in worsted weight for a Christmas stocking. I feel like I've been knitting for almost 10 years, and I feel like this is the first time I've tried to knit color work, and I feel pretty good about it. So fingers crossed I still feel that way when I get the rest of the way down the leg and the foot. That is it for my works in progress, you guys. It was just a little bit of knitting this week. I didn't get a chance to knit quite as much as I did in the previous couple weeks. And I have no stash enhancement. I have no yarns. I have no spinning. I've been looking at my wheel wanting to get it out recently, but my parents are visiting in 2 weeks for a wedding for my cousin. A cousin of mine is getting married here. And I just want to, on my weekends, I've been trying to tidy a little bit more and, catch up on stuff that I haven't been doing during the week. I want to make sure the house is spick and span, even though they aren't staying with me, or, at least as close to spick and span as I feel comfortable making it. I just want the house to be tidy and presentable, to outside people. So I've been doing that. And Josh, my partner, he's an accountant, and of course April 18th is the day personal taxes are due. So even though his bigger deadline is in mid-March for a certain type of business that he handles quite a bit, he works at one of the big 4 accounting firms. April 18th is still a big deadline for them. So he's been quite busy. He's working 15, 16, 17-hour days, including Saturdays and Sundays, although maybe only 10 or 12-hour days on Saturday and Sunday. So he's just really busy. So it's mostly me and Gracie at home right now, which is totally fine. We did this last year, and it's something I'll get used to since this is only his second year of being an accountant. So Friday, the reason I had such a crazy couple days was Friday there was a tornado in the area. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. So, sorry, text message went off. So Friday, we knew there were going to be severe thunderstorms coming through. So it ended up that we ended up having a tornado. It wasn't confirmed till Saturday because of the way the Weather Service does it. Anyway, we were so busy that night, myself and the web producer and the reporter on duty. So we generally keep a reporter on duty in the evenings, and I'm kind of in charge at night for planning breaking news coverage, that kind of stuff. So, and I planned the whole weekend, the whole 36 hours of coverage basically for the Saturday paper and the Sunday paper, and more importantly, the website where people are getting news, up to the minute news, that kind of thing. So we had heard reports of damage on Friday night and presumed tornado at that point. And, there was torrential rain, and I was trying to get photographers there and the reporter there, and there was a church that got destroyed in another city nearby, so I had to get another reporter, call someone in for help. So it was a pretty late night Friday, but I was really proud of how everything turned out. But then we had to plan for coverage on Saturday, so I had to do all of that, and you don't think about what it takes to cover news as a member of the public, I would think. You don't think about all the coordination that's involved to make sure you don't have multiple people going to the same spot when you don't need to, but there's also perhaps we're hearing about something that's 20 minutes away, but do we send someone even though the roads are impassable, but we kind of need someone? It's a constant, for me as a news editor, it's a constant game of, it's like those choose your own adventure books. Like, if this condition is there, choose page 175. But if this is going on, perhaps you would want page 47, that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot of that. And on Saturdays, I'm responsible for getting out the Sunday paper. Usually on Friday nights, I don't have that responsibility, but on Saturdays I do. So I have to basically read the entire newspaper, the news stories, the local news stories and the nation and world news stories on Saturday night to get out the Sunday paper. So I ended up going in, I worked from home a bit, and I went and I got pizza to bring to work for the reporters who had been out starting at 7, 8 a.m. and brought the pizza in. I was there around 11, 11:30, and then I was there until 10, 10:30 at night. So it was a really long day all in all. Sorry, you can just barely see Gracie's head. Hi, Grace. Hope you guys, speaking of my news job, these are my my TV, my old-time TV and radio leggings. So, oh great. Aren't you just such a good girl? She's sitting here all snuggled up in my lap. Sorry for the camera jostling. So yeah, it was just a very busy couple days of work and coordinating with photo editors and photographers and reporters and the editor, like the boss of the paper, that kind of stuff. So, and basically we had to replan the Sunday paper. One of my jobs on Friday is to kind of schedule out where things go and kind of have a plan in place, and someone pre-designed some of the Sunday paper so that there's less to do on Saturday night, if that makes sense, because we're a little more thinly staffed. So I had to replan a good chunk of the paper, because instead of stories A, B, and C on the front page, we had story A, and then we did 2 weather stories. So story B held a day, and story C we decided to hold on Friday night. So it was just really crazy, but I really do enjoy being a leader in those situations and getting stuff done and helping my coworkers who are out reporting to do their jobs. And I ended up writing a good bit of the story Friday night based on the tweets that the reporters were sending in and the email. They would type up a few paragraphs and email it in. And it really is a job. It's like ADD. You're doing 15 things at once and trying to devote as much of your attention to that one thing at your moment, and then you're triaging another situation. So it's really fun, but it's really tiring when that kind of stuff happens. So that was the past couple days. So I came home from work last night. I made some air popped popcorn. I had a hard cider, and I slept. And I didn't sleep as much as I would have liked. I'm still kind of tired, actually. So who knows, maybe a nap is in my near future. Definitely some knitting time, though. So I think that's it from me and Gracie. I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I hope you get lots more knitting time than I did in the past week. Talk to you all next week. Bye-bye. Oh, and bye from Gracie. Gracie. Hi. Say bye-bye, everyone. Bye.